After his third or fourth time exploring the topic of aliens and UFOs, you would think Steven Spielberg would not have anything left to say about this topic. Well, with Disclosure Day, this is his most profound look at this topic yet. Hello Flickering Myth family, and welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is EJ Marino and I cannot wait to dive into this week's movie review. Yes, Steven Spielberg is back on the big screen, once again talking about aliens and UFOs. Yeah, he's been there before, but this one, I like this one quite a bit. Yeah, we're going to be discussing the new film, Disclosure Day. You know, walking out of this movie, I felt maybe this was too profound, too intellectual, such a big topic. We have religion and aliens and what happens when those two things mix. I was just like, ooh, this was a lot to digest. But the more I've sat on this movie, the more I've just kind of let it wash over me. I really enjoy what Disclosure Day has to say. I do think it is a very heady film. If you are expecting a action-y sci-fi movie, that's not what this is. This is not Spielberg giving you a Jaws, Jurassic Park, Minority Report kind of vibe. This is way closer to a Close Encounters. This is way closer to one of his more intellectual, talky films. This is definitely a lot of talking, which again, if that scares you, if you're not into this and if you're wanting a summer blockbuster, I could definitely see Disclosure Day not working for you. But if you really want a smart film, a companion piece, I think, to something like Project Hail Mary this year, what interesting sci-fi films we're at, man. Between horror and sci-fi, what a good year for genre films, because I think Disclosure Day fits alongside some of those really great sci-fi films that make you think. We can easily go to a Predator, an Alien, something goofy, over the top, and fun. I like those, I appreciate those, but a movie like Disclosure Day really has you thinking, what happens if aliens were to come to Earth? Would we treat them like deities? Would we hurt them and harm them because we're scared of them, as we do when, you know, Americans, or while we do as humanity find these new topics, we're often, you know, we often push back a little bit with change. So I really like the conversations that were being had here. On top of all of that, this is just a fun, well-acted movie. It is just Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colman, Domingo, and Colin Firth doing their damn things. I mean, these are just powerhouse actors being allowed to be those powerhouses. I was so happy when we weren't getting extremely long action scenes that just felt like distractions to fill up time. No, when there is an action moment, there's a really good like train car moment that I thought was very intense and had me going there. There's a really interesting scene towards the middle or closer to the end of the film that involves, you know, maybe not being able to see everything that's in front of them. There's these little moments that I went, that's smart. That's a good way of doing that. This is definitely a slow burn type of film, but those little moments sprinkled throughout make this just a hearty meal. Like I love to compare movies to, you know, food. I love this big appetizing movie, and I love something that you walk out, you're like, oh, I cannot handle anymore. Like after a good restaurant, this one, I'm full. I cannot handle anymore. This delivered a lot, and I enjoyed almost everything that was there.
If you found out we weren't alone, would that frighten you?
Disclosure Day follows a meteorologist and a cybersecurity expert who also maybe has a mysterious backstory with him there. These two people have to come together essentially to disclose this information that they have, and they're trying to work against a shady organization that is trying to, you know, keep this information locked in under this crazy amount of security, because again, it is a interesting topic of what happens when aliens are exposed to the world. What would it do to us? Would we lose the control we have over a people as government when we get to do this? And then we have the idea of governments hiding all this for decades. Does that make governments untrustworthy? There's a lot of conversations being had here. So watching these two people who are usually kind of outside of this world be sucked into it and having to kind of just thrust themselves through the story and figure out how to be able to tell this important information, it's just really provocative. It's just really interesting work that makes me like enjoy every bit of it. I really loved Josh O'Connor's character. He could tell he's pulling in so many different directions, and he just wants to do what's right, and I love that for him. And I think he does so good in this like very noble character, maybe a little bit shady, maybe, you know, a little rough around the edges, but a very good human being. And Emily Blunt, you cannot take your eyes off her. If she is speaking an alien language, if she is reading someone's entire backstory by just looking into their eyes, she is just giving me so much. Between, you know, what was it, The Devil Wears Prada this year and other films, I'm like, how are we not putting Emily Blunt in every damn movie? Like, I should be tired of seeing her at this point, because she is so impressive here. Her meteorologist character, who has this mysterious ties to the aliens that we're discussing here, it is so great. Her character is so worthwhile. There's a moment at the end of this film where she's delivering a great speech, and I'm like, whoa, Emily Blunt, like, just, oh my goodness, what a powerhouse actress. Though I cannot talk about anyone delivering monologues, speeches in this movie without praising Colman Domingo. I just loved you in Euphoria. I've loved you in every other movie. You know, Colman Domingo is one of those people booked and busy. He's in a bit of everything, but he's so good here. A little underutilized, which, again, it's Colman Domingo. He has 80 other things he's filming at one time, and I think it's just, he's such a good character. I could have seen more of him, but there's a moment where Colman Domingo and Colin Firth are going back and forth with each other. Powerhouse men being amazing. Colin Firth, this villainous man that I understood his villainy, and I liked it. I think this is, again, characters making choices. Maybe there's one or two choices that I'm like, really, dummy, but I excuse it for the amount of other decisions made by characters that I find to be really intelligent. You know, in a movie, especially horror films or sci-fi films, people have to make dumb choices to get the story going. It's just common sense. It's how you have to write a script sometimes. But this script is so well written, which David Cope is writing a script that I like. Wow, like, this man has not written something that has moved me like this. Like, again, that has strong character motivations, that has a profound message, that has a lot to say, just checks off so many boxes that I was really happy to just let this hit me in the head as hard as it did. I will say this film does have a few slight negatives for me. If I could have gave it a rating, which I got to do cinema score for this, which is really fun, that's new and fresh for me, I would have given this like an A-, like a hard, great B+. Mostly because I do find the cinematography, the use of lens flares, it was giving me J.J. Abrams circa 2008. I found it tedious and annoying. I did not like the cinematography at all in this film. I don't want to say it's ugly. That's not exactly the word for it. It just didn't look as striking as I know. I mean, Spielberg has, like, he made Jurassic Park, he made Jaws, he made Schindler's List. Like, I know he knows how to manage his cinematographer, manage a movie to make it look spectacular. I just feel like this movie just lets me down there slightly, and John Williams' score is not just, I mean, the whole time I'm like, man, you know who would eat the score up? John Williams could get me into the scene. There's some hokey pokey music score choices that I'm like, okay, sure. And then when I found out at the end of the movie that John Williams did the score, and I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, okay, maybe I just needed a different composer. And I know Spielberg I've been working with him for his entire career. I just don't think the story needed a bit more energy and a bit more life between the cinematography, some good long takes, the camera does move, and between the score, which isn't the worst ever, but just doesn't move me, doesn't impact me, doesn't get me going. And that's just these small technical aspects that really keep this film from hitting like a masterpiece level. Like, it's really good. I really love the acting. I really love the script. I just wish some of the technical aspects could have brought this over the top like I know it could have been. Disclosure Day comes with a big recommendation from me. This is a movie that I was hesitant to go into. Spielberg lately, it is like one of the most hit or miss filmmakers. For him being such a legend, sometimes I love a movie, sometimes I do not like one. I was kind of expecting to be firmly in the middle for this one, but I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I'm really happy that this is going to be a big summer film. Do I see it being the biggest film of the year? No, I definitely think it might be a little too quiet and subtle to really get that summer crowd going. This could have been a really good fall film. This, man, October, November for this movie, we could have even seen more awards chances possibly. But as it is, I really do highly recommend it. If you like intellectual films, if you like alien stuff, if you really do respect Spielberg's take on humanity and society and life and theology and all these things, I definitely think you will appreciate this. I enjoyed it. I hope you all do as well. What did you think of this review? What do you think of Spielberg and his latest output? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth for more videos just like this, and give us a thumbs up because YouTube takes those way too seriously. Alright guys, let's talk about Disclosure Day and Spielberg's insane legacy as a filmmaker right down below.